All right, so you have written down the essay for the question behavior in schools is getting worse, and you need to explain the causes of this problem and suggest some possible solutions. Okay. All right, and you have written down the introduction paragraph. So you have written down 4 paragraphs, right? Introduction, supporting paragraph 1 and 2, and then the concluding paragraph. That's good. Educational infrastructure has made much progress in a magnitude of different domains for the last few decades. Simultaneously, however, social problems like disrespectful and antisocial behavior among students. You don't need to use student because it's a plural noun, right? So we need to use students. So it's better to use
Yeah,
the students. Otherwise, you need to use among a student. Okay, yeah, but it doesn't make sense.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
It should be a plural noun. Okay, among
yeah.
students. Again, have escalated. Okay, all right, escalated. Instead of escalated, I think it's better to write down have increased.
Okay.
That's much better. Escalated doesn't make sense here. Okay. This essay will put forward some explanation. Okay, try not to use put forward. Okay, I mean this is an informal phrase. Okay, avoid informal phrases, please.
Hmm.
The
Hmm.
essay is 100% formal. So
Okay.
it will put forward, instead of put forward you can mention like it will provide, this essay will provide some explanation, so you can replace it with the provide. So replace put forward with provide. Okay,
Hmm.
so this will provide some explanations, some explanation. You don't need to use some explanation, it doesn't make sense, right? You're writing a distinct essay, you don't need to write down the some explanation. I think it's better to write down what do you call the causes, isn't it? It's all about the causes of this problem, which means it's better to write down the reasons behind this rising development, rising trend, reasons for this, reasons
Sure.
for this rising trend. You have to be
Sure.
accurate, you have to write down the words accurately. Okay, you can't just write
Sure.
down some vague words or vague phrases, it doesn't look good.
Sure.
Right. Let's go to the next one. Just give me 1 minute. Sorry.
Sure. Sure.
All right. Okay. So for this reasons for this rising trend, before drawing optimal solutions to tackle this problem. All right. Yeah. Everything else is okay. There are several reasons as to why adverse behaviors among students are on the rise. Okay. This one is good. So the first supporting paragraph is good. However, you should have used a connecting phrase. For example, on one hand, comma, or to start with, or to begin with. Okay, so you should have
Okay.
used one of them. Okay,
Okay.
please add this. There are several, again you need to write down small THERE. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that's what we have to do. It's better to connect all the sentences using connecting phrases, okay, as much as you can. All right,
Hmm.
so on one hand, there are several reasons as to why adverse behaviors among school goers are on the rise. I mean, instead of writing school goers, it's good to write down school children. Okay, sorry, it's good to write down school children. Okay,
Okay.
much better. Try to avoid informal phrases, please. Even though you are writing general training module, you must follow formal phrases only in your writing. Okay, in your writing.
Sure.
Or on the rise. That's good. Firstly, the bad behavior is a manifestation of lack of education for children in their early life. That's good. School curriculum does not emphasize does not emphasize. Okay, emphasize. I think this is there's a spelling mistake. Doesn't emphasize. It needs there must be a e at the end. Okay, let's
E
skip.
at the end.
Yes,
Yes.
because the one that you're writing down is the noun, but what we need is does not, and then you need a just give me one moment. I'm pretty confident about it. It's like emphasis.
It's emphasized. Yeah,
Yeah,
SE.
emphasize, yes. So the one that you have written down is incorrect. Okay, you had to use emphasize. Okay, emphasize. All right, that's the sorry emphasize. Okay, that's the correct one. But you have used the noun. Okay, noun doesn't go with the does not. Okay, remember that.
Yeah, yeah.
Does not need
Yeah,
a verb.
the intention was to use the verb form, but I think it's the
Yeah,
E.
doesn't emphasize a lot on moral education, which promotes good manners and the importance of giving respect. While a few reasons touch bases on good habit and respecting elders, but they are ineffective. Okay, all right. So
And the statement
you
is
can't
repeated
use
again.
while and but together.
Okay.
Okay, so what you should have done is you should have removed this while. Remove this.
Okay.
Remove
Okay.
this phrase. So it must be just few lessons. Okay, few lessons touch bases on good habits and respecting elders, but they are ineffective. While a few lessons touch bases on good habit. Okay, you have
Yeah,
written
it's
down
like
that together twice. Okay,
yeah, yeah.
so remove this whole phrase, whole sentence. Remove this sentence as it is repeated twice. Okay. All right, let's go to the next one. Secondly, the advent of the internet and mobile devices has unleashed the spread of violent content without any checks and balances. Balances can be removed. Unbalances, I don't think this one makes sense. What do you want to convey here?
So basically,
Without any control, right? Isn't it? Without any control.
yeah,
Is it correct?
huh,
I think it's better to use, without any control, without any restrictions. Do you know what I mean? The spread of violent content without any restrictions. I think that's much appropriate, isn't it?
sure,
Spread of content without any restrictions.
sure.
I think that is, I mean, they don't have much restrictions on that. I think this one is more appropriate than what you have written down. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's not only is harmful to chill students cognitive. Okay. When you write down, this one, like a singular noun, you have to use a student's cognitive abilities. Otherwise, if you would like to write down the plural noun, then you have to write down like this: students' cognitive abilities. I believe you tried to use the plural noun. Is that right?
Yes,
Apostrophes must be placed after s, not before s, not between t and s, but it must be placed only after s. Okay, if you're writing a plural noun. So this means
okay.
cognitive abilities of many students. That's what you want to tell. Okay, this is not
Yeah,
only
yeah.
harmful for students abilities, cognitive abilities, but also has a tremendous negative impact on their nature and behavior. That's good. For instance, a student tries to imitate how his okay, how their favorite hero from movies or shows that elevates substance abuse. How if it imitate how their favorite hero from the imitate their favorite hero from movies that elevates substances abuses and gun violence. Okay, this needs to be removed. When you remove this, you can read this. Okay, when you remove how from here, okay,
Hmm. Hmm.
you must be able to find out. You might be able to find out that the sentence is making sense. Okay, read this. For instance, a student tries to imitate their favorite hero from movies or shows that elevates substance abuse, gun violence, and swear words, and swear words are easily accessible over the internet. So don't use how. It doesn't look Good. It's
Sure.
grammatically incorrect. My question is, where is the concluding sentence for this paragraph? So concluding sentence is missing. What you should have done is, instead of writing so many sentences here, you should have put them down like one by one. Firstly, what's the problem? Secondly, what's the problem? Thirdly, and then finally, you should have mentioned the concluding sentence. Okay, but you haven't done that.
Mm.
And then you have mentioned diversified measures. Okay, you have mentioned diversified measures. That's all right, but the problem is, see, we have already
The
used
connecting.
one. On one hand, we have got these causes, or the problems, or whatever it is, and on the other hand, you should have mentioned this. However, on the other hand, okay, comma. So you should have add this. You should have added this
Mm.
phrase.
Sure, sure.
You not only need to connect the sentences together within a paragraph, but also have to link two paragraphs together as well. Do you understand?
Yeah, yeah.
So you need to say, I mean, this is the one paragraph, the first supporting paragraph, which talks about the causes of a particular development. And then you have to come across a range of solutions here, right? So you should use, however, on the other hand, you have to use the small d, okay, diversified.
Sure, sure.
All right, diversified measures can be implemented to address the root causes of this issue. An obvious solution is to emphasize the importance of, here you have used it correctly, okay. You did a good job here. All right, emphasize the
Mm-hmm.
importance of parental guidance. Parental controls should enable,
Should be enabled actually.
yeah, should enable on the devices. That's wrong, okay. Yeah, should be enabled. All right, that could be one of the mistakes. So when you read along with me, you are able to find out your mistakes. That's
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
yeah. And what you could have done is that, okay, you instead of writing down separately these two things, okay, I mean like these two sentences, it's better to use them together. For example, an obvious solution is to emphasize the importance of parental guidance, okay, or parental guidance, where controls, controls could be enabled on the mobile devices that will restrict access to misleading and immoral content. Do you understand?
Mm.
I mean, you could have added them together. You could have put, where parental measures, because otherwise you can use, as because parental measures or as parental measures could be enabled on the mobile devices that will restrict access to misleading and immoral content. Okay.
Mm.
Apple devices, for instance, restricts access to apps and content that are harmful. You could have used, it's not one app, okay, so you need to think about it. It's like many apps, right? So you have to
Mm-hmm.
use, but again, apps is an informal phrase, okay. It's, you cannot use any short forms of the words, okay. You have to use full forms only. Applications.
Okay.
So one thing is, it's a many, I mean, it should be a plural noun. And again, the problem with the, apps is that it's a shortened form of the word, which should not be used in writing, okay. And content that are harmful to children, okay. The other solution involves, okay, the other solution doesn't make sense. You can use another solution involves. That makes much sense, okay. That is more appropriate
Mm-hmm.
than what you have written down. So another
Sure.
solution involves improving the robustness of moral science at an early age. Not just parents, but the educational system also has to do their part. Because without, okay, remove this one, remove this comma, please. Remove this comma.
Mm.
Because without involving teachers, there must be a comma here.
Okay, what's the rule there?
Okay, so what I have done is, see, I have shared, I think, yeah, I will share with you, a video, okay, on my YouTube channel. Did you already subscribe to my YouTube channel or not?
I think yeah.
Yeah,
I'll have to
you
check anyway
you need to
again.
enable the notification. Okay, there is a video on how to use
Mm-hmm.
the punctuation marks, like where to use the commas and things like that. Okay, and this is one among them. Okay, it is like wherever you use the conditional clauses. I mean, if you use like as blah blah blah, and then if you write down the first part of the sentence, then you have to place a comma. For example, okay, without the help of internet, comma, one cannot learn one cannot learn about something. Okay, for example. Okay,
Mm.
so whenever you use without or with, okay, and then after that particular phrase, you need to place a comma. If you're writing down in the middle or in the beginning of a sentence, do you understand?
Mm.
I mean, if you say with the help of internet, comma, everyone can learn from their home. So that's
Mm.
correct. Okay, that is one of the
Mm.
conditional clauses actually. So when you read them, when
Mm.
you watch that video, you should be able to find that out. Okay,
Mm.
it'll be
Oh,
hard.
okay, I'll go through that.
Yeah, it will be hard to provide a holistic strategy to inculcate good behavior. That's good. Okay, that's a good thing. And where is the concluding sentence?
Yeah, I think in both the paragraphs I missed the conclusion.
And you could have reduced what you can say, the number of supporting ideas. It seems to me that you have written down so many supporting ideas. Okay,
Uh, I uh, uh, I think I only have written two per. Two are the topics and the supporting statements. Got it. I'll try to.
yeah, try to write them down together. Like for example, these two sentences can go together. Do you know what I mean?
Hmm.
And then
Yeah.
this one, you have given an example, that's good. And then the third one, that's good. So the ideas are good enough. I'm happy with your task achievement. Okay, your task achievement is quite good, but the problem is with your selection of words and grammar. It doesn't look good.
Hmm.
Also, you could have used more connecting phrases, like the way I have added them. you
Hmm.
know
Hmm.
Mm. So in conclusion, the negative impacts of modern technologies and weak moral education are primary reasons. No, are the primary reasons.
Hmm. Hmm.
Okay, wherever we have to use the primary and secondary, we have to use the.
Hmm.
Okay, all right. So add this one. Are the primary reasons. Okay,
Sure.
for this problem. Okay. Instead of writing down for this problem again and again, you should have used maybe for this trend or for this development. You don't want to repeat the same thing once again. Okay, so it's
Sure.
better
Sure.
to use for this development or for this trend. However, parental controls on children's modern devices, along with the strong curriculum, could be offer. No, 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 no. Could be offers to tackle. Okay. No,
Offered.
no, no.
It's actually.
Could help to tackle this problem effectively. Okay. All right.
Sure.
Could help. Okay. Could help to. So instead of writing be offers, you could have used could help to tackle this problem effectively.
Sure. Sure.
Okay. Again, you're writing a problem. You could have used something else. Okay. All right. Let me give you the feedback for your scores. Okay. Let's go through the first thing. The first thing is grammar is a weak area. Is a very weak area. I mean, you need to um, improve your grammatical accuracy. Okay, as you have committed several grammatical mistakes. Okay. All right, so that's one issue with your writing. And then the vocabulary could have been better with the use of more formal words, and appropriate that are that can, uh, and use of appropriate words in place. Okay, that could have been done. Vocabulary could have been done. Um the use of connecting phrases could have been better too. Okay, what about the task fulfillment? Task fulfillment is okay. Task fulfillment is the only saving point for you. Okay,
Hmm.
task fulfillment is all right. So you can get 7.5 bands under task fulfillment, but the remaining ones are going to damage your score. Okay. All right. So what would be the expected score? To me, this is a sounds like a 6.5 and 1. Okay.
Mm.
All right. That's the feedback that I have. So you need to, what you need to do is that you need to identify these mistakes, because you have committed so many mistakes. Okay.
Mm.
Get the maximum of 6.5 ends. That's it.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
All right. Yeah. So I would recommend you to use good strategies. Just go through these mistakes, try to identify the mistakes that you have committed, and then
Sure.
avoid them in the future. Okay.
Sure.
I'm gonna
Sure.
send it to you, this one, straight away.